See you later.
Good night. Hello out there. We're on the air. It's MoPac After Dark. As my headphone jack's not working. There we go. So it looks like we're about to start our feature game, the last game of the night, as we have Coyote Wild taking on Team Hernandez. And it looks like Team Hernandez is going to be throwing the yellow stones. Sorry, the red stones. Thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. Hopefully it's going to be a good evening. And so it's Team Hernandez from OC Curling in CurlVegas taking on Coyote Wild from Coyotes Curling Club of Tempe, Arizona. Just steps from the airport. It's a lot of steps, but it's steps from the airport. This is the only MoPac After Dark of the MoPac 5 and Under. We have an early night tomorrow night for the banquet, and then we have Championship Sunday, which ends by midday or so. So we're gonna have fun tonight, as much fun as we can in the next 2 hours. So thank you so much for tuning in. As we have rocks in play, we are underway here. And this end is being brought to you by doubletakeout.com. Throughout the competitive curling season, proprietor Ken Pomeroy updates the site with the results of the latest competitive curling events and creates a unique ranking of the men's and women's teams. You can see how your favorite team stacks against the others at doubletakeout.com. So the second rock coming from the lead for Team Hernandez. And that's going to be Peter Johns. So this is the A bracket still, the first event. And then the winner of this game will stay alive in the A bracket and then play a quarterfinal tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. So the hits made for Coyote Wild. As the second for Hernandez gets set, this is going to be Kira Minayan. Looking to, I think, hit one of the reds and the mission accomplished. The shooter's going to go, one of the yellows, I think they both went away. So the house is wide open. There's 2 tight guards in front of the rings. As we see the second for Coyote Wild get set, and that's going to be Jared Kiesling. And this is a pretty fun rink out of Coyotes. Definitely been playing at more competitive events, but also willing to have a lot of fun wherever they go. And that's true of a lot of teams here, which is nice. It's good to be competitive, but it's also nice to have fun too. As Jared is putting up a tight guard. Just kind of closing down access to the rings. Coyote Wild has the hammer in this first end. think I misspelled the name. It's Coyote singular wild. And so I goofed on that. So this rock, looking for a draw, it's going to settle in the back of the rings. So it looks like Hernandez is shot for now. So Jared is getting set for a second stone, looking to draw through the gap. It was kind of hanging out. I had a theory that the rocks were curling more towards the wall. That's after dark now, though, and they just did a pebble. So like, maybe it's slightly different. So that is shot now in the top of the rings. And so David Hernandez, the skip for the team of the same name, has the broom down for a takeout. As we see the vice for Hernandez, Zach.
I do a lot of databasing with our
and looks like they make contact on the yellows. Move things around. Looks like red is shots, and third or fourth rock. There's two yellows in the top of the house near the center line. As the next for Coyote Wild, this is Josh Bernstein delivers. Looking to pop out that red shot stone. This one's over curling a little bit, but I think they should make contact enough to kick the red out. And had a little click of my own there. And that did roll to be shot. So it is now Coyote Wild sitting 2, maybe 3. So next rock coming from Zach Altman. And it does clear those two front yellows, so it's now Coyote Wild just sitting 1. So now it's in a situation for Coyote Wild to look to see what they can do here. I would be curious to see if they could have split the rings. I mean, obviously that might not be the best solution or the best call, but just thinking about splitting the rings to try to set up a multiple point score. In this case, you're going to try and draw around that guard that Hernandez left near the center. And this is actually going to be a little on the light side. So that does create a possibility now for Hernandez to try and draw on top of that Coyote Wild rock. So just like that, we are to skip stones. Looking to draw on top of the shot stone. I think the line is pretty good. They want to make sure it comes back. People are standing in places that makes it hard to see what's going on. It's was it maybe a smidge on the light side as it settles into the top 8 foot, while the shot stone is in the back 4 foot. So there's about at least a foot difference in terms of the distance from the center to where they are in the house. So now it looks like Coyote Wild is going to draw around the center. As we see the skip for Coyote Wild deliver his first. This is Darren Campbell. That also looks like it came up a smidge late. So Hernandez is going to have a draw. Kind of follow a very similar path to his first. So his last shot is away, looking to draw. Sweepers are kind of saying it's a little up weight. Needs want to be shot, or at least narrow the scoring area. It's past the guard. It's past the second red, and it looks like it's going to be. I think it's not shot. I think yellow is still shot, but it's in a pretty good place where Coyote Wild really can't tap them out without running the risk of jamming. The safer shot is to maybe try and draw for 2. I guess it really depends on who's shot. Well, even then, like even a draw for 1 might be the safer call instead of risking. Hitting the yellow hitting the red onto yellow and maybe giving up 2. So they are going to do the draw. So it's MoPac After Dark, but we're in the city of neon garishness, which is kind of fun. It's definitely not garish here. The lights are bright, and they're on curling, which is a very, very fun place to be. As the broom is down for a draw, Darren Campbell's getting set for his last. This is the last rock here, the first end, the hammer coming from Campbell. Supers kind of, they kind of waved saying it was like maybe a little hot. And I don't think it's going to come back. So they're pointing to the red. So it was Hernandez that was shot. And it looks to be just a single for Team Hernandez. So a steal to start things off. And that's how we do MoPac After Dark. That's the first time anyone has said that sentence ever. So you guys are witnesses to history. I don't know why MoPac After Dark is so fun. I'm sure part of it is that it is the end of a very long day for a lot of people. But we'll be right back as the fun continues at the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships, coming to you live from CurlVegas. And ongoing coverage of this event is brought to you by doubletakeout.com, offering insights and information about the top men's and women's teams of curling around the world. doubletakeout.com. And by curling.gg. Test your stip skills against your friends online at curling.gg. Free online curling platform with real physics simulation. And by Endgame Curling. Endgame Curling. Elevate your game. Unlock the next level with its Endgame's leading edge curling brooms and accessories. Endgamecurling.com. Rocks in play. We are underway here in this second end. Some MoPac After Dark here at the 2025 MoPac 5U. This is, I think, the most coverage we've had of a 5U before. And glad you guys are here. And so that was a steal of 1 for Team Hernandez, as we now are in the second end. And we are seeing. Okay, so I think this is the gentleman. This is, I believe, it's Peter Johns. Good night. Coverage of this end is being brought to you by curling.gg. Curling.gg is the only platform where you can take your shot, watch it execute with accurate physics, undo and try again until it's perfect, practice strategy, finesse your technique, and enjoy a good game, all for free and ad-free. Visit curling.gg. It's kind of fun. GG is kind of internet slang for good game, which is what we say at the end of every curling game, even if it wasn't a good game. No. You obviously want to have a good competition. That's kind of what this game is all about. So net strut coming from Kara Manayan. I-29. And this is going to settle in. Oh, it wicks off of the yellow that was in the center of the house, the top center of the house. And then the shooter rolls out of play. So there's 4 games on the ice. We have 24 teams in the field. Just about 96 players, each vying for a chance to have a good time and maybe win a chance to compete at the 5 and Under National Championship coming up later this spring. So we're trying to definitely find a good balance between offering a competitive environment and kind of the social and fun aspect of it. G54. That's G54. And that draw from Kiesling settles into about 8 foot, so and a little buried. So it looks like we got some cleaning action coming from Manayan. So we have 4 sheets in play. All of the sheets are being streamed by CurlVegas in addition to our MoPac YouTube feature game, which you're watching right now. And thank you again for tuning in. That's a big reason why I'm here this weekend. And that flashes the stone. So a miss there from Kira. G58. That's G58 as you see Jared's net struck head down the way. And this rock is going to end up crashing on the garden and rolling towards the center. So not a bad outcome for Coyote Wild. So you could try to peel the guard. Custard maybe draw to the yellow in the back left. And it looks like they're going to try and pick out the center shot stone in the top 4 foot. If it's a little tight and peels the guard, I would say that's not. I would say that's a pretty good outcome, especially as Zach Altman is throwing his first. It looks a little wide. Maybe could get a little pinball action. It's going to tick the and miss the red. It actually ticks on the shot stone. I mean, the shooter goes through the house out of play. B7. That's a B7. So now Coyote Wild is kind of has something cooking. As we see the first rock coming from the third for Coyote Wild, that's Josh Bernstein. This is going to curl into a guard position, which I think is a pretty good outcome for Coyote Wild. There is kind of maybe like a hit and roll on that back 4, that yellow in the back 8. The yellow that's dead center, or not dead center, it's buried. I think it's going to be kind of tricky to get out. So we are in Vegas. This is my first time in Vegas. This is well, not at CurlVegas. I've been to Las Vegas before. This is my first time in the dedicated ice facility that just opened. So that did tap the yellow, and then the shooter stuck around. I think it's second shot. So this is a pretty welcoming facility. Definitely glad that we're here. 062. 062. So this is Bernstein's second shot. Looking to basically kind of do a similar shot and hopeful outcome as Hernandez's last shot. This is curling up okay. I think it's going to make some contact on the red. That's definitely a soft weight hit. It pushes the red to the back 12 foot. So Coyote Wild is sitting 2 right now if the end were to finish right now. And then Hernandez has shots 3 and 4. I-27. I-27.
Okay. All right. Yeah, they're here for the bunter part of it. Yes. Yeah.
So the broom is down. I think they're going to try and draw through the port and sit buried behind all those yellows. Kind of along the center line. It's kind of having the right weight and the right line. It's going to be a bit of a tricky call. As Hernandez has the broom down. This is David Hernandez. It's kind of interesting. We're seeing a lot of familiar faces at an event like this, the 5 and under. Teams of players with 5 years of experience or less. But these teams, we say 5 years of experience. They have a lot of experience for the 5 years. For me, as a young curler, not that young. But when I started curling, I was able to go to my first bonspiel at the 5 and under that MoPac had at Seattle Granite, and it was a total blast. And it really got me hooked on curling. And then since then, I've been able to go to a couple bonspiels, but not as many events as some of these teams on the ice. And that was a pretty good draw from Hernandez. It looks to be shots. Or if it's not shot, it's close to it. We have kind of like a necklace of yellows and reds as Darren Campbell makes his way down the ice. And I think just looking to heavy draw, pop out the red shot stone perhaps. B6. B6. And this is Campbell's first with the hammer here in the second end. Sweepers jump on it. Looking to hold the line. It's looking pretty good.
Well, the ice cream leaves after midnight.
And they make the ooh, it jams on the yellow on the side. And the shooter has enough pace. Sorry, the stone that was hit has enough pace to go to the back 8 foot. The shooter itself rolls to the 4 foot ring and adds another yellow pearl to the necklace, as it were. B14. B14.
I was like, okay, and then I realized I'm the one who has to open and close. So I'm like, let's just do maybe 2. Yeah.
So they're going to try that draw again, especially since there's backing. Bit of a dangerous situation for Team Hernandez, as Team Coyote Wild has 3 right now. So drawing against 3, hoping to be shot, or at least at the very least cut some of these Coyote Wild rods down. Sweepers are going hard on the stone. Definitely need to make sure it gets around the guard. Needs to. How far is it going to go? It's past the guard. Where is it going to end up? It curls into the top of the 8 foot. Not enough to outcount any of the Coyote Wildstones. So bit of bad luck there for Team Hernandez, especially. So they were a little heavy with their first, and so they decided to adjust by being a little lighter, and it was just too light. And so now Team Coyote Wild has a chance for 4, and just really open things up here in the second end here of our first brackets, second round. We don't have a cute name for the second round yet. So Darren Campbell's looking to draw for a 4th point. This is kind of out there. Oh, maybe they just opted to throw it away. That is what happened. So that looks to be 3. Definitely multiple points. I'll wait till they post the score to be certain. But definitely a strong end for Coyote Wild. And we will see how Team Hernandez responds when we come back to the 2025 MoPac Championships presented by Curling.gg. While they're about to get started with the next end, as teams exchange fist bumps, I want to let you guys know about what's happening around the rings. Our trademarked footage, or trademark name for providing coverage of multiple sheets of games, or games on multiple sheets. I am joking, of course. We did not invent around the rings. This first stone from Coyote Wild's lead, Paige Peterson. It looks like it might slip into the rings, and indeed it does. B2. B2. So the broom is down for Team Hernandez's lead, Peter Johns. And this ended coverage is being brought to you by Endgame Curling. Elevate your game. Unlock the next level with Endgame's leading edge curling brooms and accessories. EndgameCurling.com. And so that was a 3 spot for Coyote Wild. As the next rock from Paige heads down the ice.
I didn't start it until the first rock, which was 7:03. Yeah,
So while that rock's in play, just want to let you guys know, N34. N34. Alright, to let you guys know about what's happening around the rings. Sheet A, we have Michaela's Marauders from Lake Tahoe Epic Curling facing Sweeping It Real from Silicon Valley. And Silicon Valley converted the hammer with 3 in the first end. They're up 3-0. Sheet B features Team Kunkel from Coyotes and OC Curling facing Top Gun from Oval and Ogden Curling. Kunkel stole the first end with a 3 spot, up 3-0. Sheet C, our feature game, you're watching it. Team Hernandez from OC Curling and CurlVegas stole the first end. Then Coyote Wild responded with a 3 spot and the second end. They're up 3-1. And then on sheet D, we have complete sheet show from Oval Curling facing Skip It from Silicon Valley. Skip It stole the first end and then forced sheet show to a single in the second end. So they are all tied at 1. All these games are streaming on either the MoPac or CurlVegas YouTube channels. And we also have scores and information about the event at bonspieler.com. Next rock coming from Jared for Coyote Wild. B8. B8. Have you had your B8s today? So looks like Team Hernandez, Manayan is throwing some heats. It clips their own guard and then whips off of the yellow and spins in to be the back 12 foot if it's going to sit down. And it does not. It actually goes through the house out of play. So opens things a little bit. So there's a decent amount of yellow in the rings and outside the rings, and there's no red. And this draw from Jared is going to maybe tap the guard on the left. And just kind of adds another stone to the wall. Just like that famous Pink Floyd song, Money. So we have Manayan's second stone. N38. N38.
Yeah, more almonds, Steve, which is why I want to do a women's only 500 qualifier. That's what I want.
So Josh Bernstein's first rock. Trust me, it's heading down the ice. Looking to add another yellow to the pile, it seems. And it ends up covering the path to the button.
So, yeah. So I think that's when that comes into play. Because I think women probably are the best. Yeah, I think, yeah.
N33.
I think it's a little bit of
N33.
Yeah, it's definitely a different game. But if you can stick it with it, you know how to stick it. Okay.
As Zach Altman gets sets. Looking to try and draw around everything. They had a couple rots to maybe open things up, but they're opting to draw right now. Which I guess, they're exercising caution, but now they have running the risk of jamming on the guards, and it does jam on the guard. The shooter's going to roll wide to the left and bite the edge of the house. So a good outcome for Team Hernandez. G48s. G48s. As we see Josh's next rock. You can see some balloons in the background. When a team gets a double takeout, they have the possibility of winning a round of drinks as they're holding onto those balloons at the end of the game. and it's kind of a chance situation because you could get the balloons and your game ends, but other teams on the ice could, get the double takeout balloons and steal them from you essentially. So I think looking to open things up a bit, down to Team Hernandez is. So they're looking at maybe which run back to take on. Looking for hack weights.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's a 5-under. Like, it is a challenge.
So weight's going to be an issue. Line is also going to be an issue. As we see Zach with his second. This looks a little wide. It clips on the red guard, opens up the middle slightly, and then the red shooter rolls to the top of the house, or it rolled wide. So we are to skip stones. I'm going to guess that Darren's going to close the door and put up either a guard or draw into the top of the rings. G56. G56. So Campbell's set, looking for a draw or a guard. I'm going to guess top of the rings, but lights the miss, especially if they're able to get to the top of the house. So I think it might be a little narrow. Looking pretty good for Coyote Wild. B11. B11. So that was a tight guard. And Coyote Wild is sitting 2. And the question for Team Hernandez is how do they get into the rings? They're looking at a really, really long run back. I would think maybe the run back on the right would be a little better, but I don't know if the angles are there for that. They can also throw. This is dangerous because I don't know if they want to. I don't think they want to really raise the guard. They try to peel the guard, but they don't want the guard to stick around. As Hernandez makes his way to the delivery hack. Asking for a little bit more ice. I think looking for about hack weight. And both sweepers set up weight. And this looks like it's going to it's going to crash on the red, and let's see what happens to the red. Okay. I want to see where the shooter ended up. As it crashed on the red, the shooter rolled towards the center under the yellow center stone. B12. B12. So it is still Coyote Wild sitting 2. So we were talking earlier today about some people having some lucky days. One person who's coach for two teams. One's at a U.S. Women's Bonspiel, and the other one is here at the event. Both of his teams that he coaches scored 7 enders, and so I said he should probably maybe go to a put some money on a table or something. And he did say that probably all the luck is happening at the curling club, and I can definitely feel the luck tonight. Just like that Elton John song from, the Regal Cat. I'm trying to think of a name about I'm trying to come up with an off-brand Lion King name. Didn't quite work. Just like Lion King 1.5 or 2.5. Whatever that sequel was, I had never watched. All right, so the broom is down. I think just looking to put up a guard. It's possible they could slip into the rings. I don't think they want to slip into the rings. Darren's second stone here. Can you feel the luck tonight? Although the SNL 50th anniversary special did make fun of Hakuna Matata, referencing like 1980s drug use in New York. So maybe you had to be there, either at the SNL 50th anniversary special or New York in the 80s. Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's our problem-free philosophy. And you might be wanting to say Hakuna Matata after that shot, because that it blocked a draw pass. So that might be what they were looking to do. In this jungle, the curling jungle. I'm just going to keep riffing on Lion King for a while. See how it goes.
Yeah, thank you so much.
075. 075. So the question is, how does Hernandez try to get out of this jam that they're in? Coyote Wild played a pretty solid end, sitting 2 with their final rock. But Team Hernandez has to hammer one last chance to shape this end. So the broom is down to try to do that kind of angle raise on the left side from this view. I don't know if the angles work. And also where the broom is, I think the way he's going to need to throw to make solid contact is pretty tight. But he also needs to touch 2 stones. So this is David Hernandez's last, facing 2 in a bit of a jam here. And I don't think he was happy with that, especially as it crashes on the guard. So that does appear to be a steal at 2. And I'm behind on the score. Apologies about that. Although Team Hernandez does have the hammer when we come back for the 4th end. We come back to this peaceful village, this quiet village. The lion sleeps tonight. Hey, hey. We, the lion. I'm on my way. I'm not really supposed to sing on these broadcasts. Although I imagine there's some karaoke somewhere in Vegas this weekend, not necessarily at this club, although it's been asked for. And then other people have asked not to have it. G50. G50. This is Paige Peterson's first, looking to put up a guard or run to the top of the rings. And this is going to end up as a center-ish guard, not on the center line. And we are playing with the no-tick rule this weekend, the enhancement of the 5-rock rule. The 5-rock rule is for the first 5 rocks to the end. An opposing team cannot dislodge a stone in the guard zone that's not touching the house. If the stone is removed from play, the non-offending team removes the offending stone and replaces the guard. For the no-tick rule enhancement, when a rock is on the center line, which is not there, it's just off the center line. If a rock is delivered to the center line, it cannot be dislodged from that center line by the opposing team until after the 5th rock of an end. That includes promoting it into the house. If that happens, the non-offending team has the choice to either leave the rocks as they played out because it might help them, or they have the choice of removing the offending stone and replacing the stones that were dislodged back to their original places. So looking to draw around those 2 center-ish guards. Ends up top 4 foot, actually on the button, about 40% exposed, 40% buried. As Peter Johns' next rock heads down the ice. B13. B13. Just add an extra T in there, guys. And this is going to tap the shot stone. The shooter's going to roll wide right. And we see Jared Kiesling's next stone. I think this is his first. Campbell saying no sweep. I think they're just trying to coach it over. It might come back for a piece, and it does grab a piece as Darren does his best to escort it from the premises like an unwelcome house guest. Out, darn rock, you might say. You also might say I-28. I-28. As you have Manayan with her first. I think looking to draw on top of the shot stone. Sweepers are on it. This might be a little light. Sweepers were on it and then they were off briefly. Now they're trying to coax it over. And the weight was pretty well managed as it settles into the back 4, out counting that shot Yellowstone. G46. G46. 46. So this is Jared's second rock. And looking to draw on top of Manayan's first rock. It looks a little wide. They're trying to push it over again. And this is going to flash. So now the door is open for Hernandez to set up a possible multiple point score. As it looks like Hernandez's front end is really encouraging a shot call, as also Manayan gets set by doing her kind of balancing routine. As I've mentioned before, you want to look for alignment balance and curl the rotation on the rock with every curling delivery. And so the weight's probably going to be about the same as Menai's first because they really swept it to get there. And this is just a little hotter than the first rock. It's going to end up tapping the first red to the back forefoot to be outcounted by the yellow on the left. But the shooter is now shot. But I think there's a double there. And I think Darren Campbell thinks so as well as Josh Bernstein delivers. Not a missile, but it looks like it's going to have enough energy to get both of those reds moving if the contact is made correctly. And it looks like it's going to do one, and that's all, as the first red rolls to the back forefoot. But it does look like Coyote Wild is sitting 2 now. 069. Nice. That's 069. So one of the nice things about Las Vegas is that there are a decent number of late night places to get some food. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting a quick bite after this is all said and done. It's been a long day, but it's been a lot of fun curling. I'm glad you guys have tuned in. Wrapping things up with some MoPac After Dark. Ooh, yeah, MoPac After Dark. So that shot from Zach moves one of the yellows out of scoring position. And the shooter sticks around for second or third shot. So it looks like we're going to try and go for a double. As Josh's second stone is away, looking to move some reds. See some red fly. We're going to apply some Visine and get the red out. Hits one. Second stone moves through the house out of play. The first red that was hit moves to the back. 8 foot. So just a partial eye clearing of redness. Some of these metaphors don't quite work, but we're having fun, or at least I'm having fun. I hope you guys have fun too. 067. 067. As we see Zach's second stone. And this is looking pretty good to hit and roll. Let's see where it ends up rolling to. Ends up rolling to the top forefoot. Might be second or third shot. David liked the outcome of the stone.
I don't know, I keep trying to quit. Like, to burn calories. Yeah, I keep saying I don't want to curl between the months of November and February.
N45. N45. So, lots of rocks in the house. I'm trying to see how Hernandez can get multiple points out of this and how Campbell could stop him, or stop them, stop the other team. I-16. I-16.
I'm going to be living in Arizona at some point. Yeah, but if you understand, in the winter it's cold. Yes, yeah. It's not like Florida. Florida doesn't really get that cold. Yeah.
So we are to skip stones as we see Darren Campbell with his first at 2 without the hammer.
Yeah.
I think they're just looking to draw on top of the pile and just to really make it hard for Hernandez to even score one.
I'll take it. That's high for February. So where do you live or not? I'm in Sacramento. Sacramento. So I graduated from Houston.
So this is going to settle in right in the easy draw path, or the easy path for Hernandez to run the red back onto yellow.
Right, yeah. I hardly recognize. Yeah.
N40. N4T. So tons of rocks in the rings. It's going to be tricky for Hernandez to I think get to the button. Easiest thing was to raise the red onto yellow, and there's not really an easy way to angle a stone towards the button. There's a tricky run back. I don't think the run back's there really. 063. 063.
It's even shorter. Yeah. We were working on that shortening back in the 80s. That's got some wow.
So it looks like I think they're trying to at least hit one of the yellows out. Might be the call. Maybe get a lucky roll. That's going to be a tricky shot there, especially with the weight. So they're looking to hit and roll, I think, on top of the shot yellow. Maybe kick it back a little bit. As David Hernandez's first rock is away. So this is more of a draw. It looks like it's going to make some contact on the yellow. And let's see where it ends up. Ooh, goodness gracious. That's really, really close as Team Coyote Wild takes a close look at it. That's a brilliant draw there from David Hernandez. And also set something up. So if now Hernandez does like a heavy draw tap, they could get maybe 2 or 3 out of this, and really kind of get back into this game halfway through. Teams play up to 8 ends of regulation, although we ring a bell after about 95 minutes. And so that bell should be coming up in about half an hour. There's still plenty of time. I think there's plenty of time for 7 ends. It might be dicey for 8 ends. As Darren Campbell just set, I think just looking to kind of close the door, put up a guard. Even if it draws on top of where Hernandez threw the rock, that's still not a bad outcome. Especially as the angles work out. 064. 064. As Campbell's rock makes its way down the ice, looking to be a tight guard. It's hogging. Is it going to go over the line? They kicked the stone. It hogged. So that's another $1 for the piggy jar, which is what I'm now calling. Is piggy jar is a word, right? I'm not sure. But we do have a raffle to give the proceeds of burned and hogged rocks to a lucky recipient for both categories at the end of the weekend. The punishment or penalty for a hogged rock or a burned stone is $1, although due to inflation it's maybe $1.25 sometime soon. And then due to the tariffs it's going to be $2. So that's my political joke of the night. Done for the night. Lots of rots in play, and Hernandez has a chance to tap red onto yellow for 2, maybe 3. The weight needs to be spot on, the line equally so. But this is an opportunity for Hernandez to really jump back into the thick of this game. Free space. Free space. Last rock here, the hammer coming from David Hernandez. Sweepers jump on the stone out of hand. Needs to make sure the line stays pretty straight until it's past the guard, and then try to coach it over. It looks like it might be on the guard, and it is, but there might be a plan B. There's no plan B. So it looks like it's either 1 for Hernandez or 1 for Coyote Wild. I can't wait to see what the outcome of that was. We are to the 5th end. And with that, our bingo night is over. No one said bingo, so the progressive jackpot will roll over to the next time we do this. But definitely tune in, get your dollars ready for the next time we do progressive bingo during a Bonspiel bingo. That'd be fun. So it looks like that was a single point for Hernandez as they're pushing out of the hack now. That means the other team has the hammer, which means Hernandez scored. So let's switch camera angles. We are in the 5th end. Coyote Wild has the hammer. I'll wait till they post the score, but I'm pretty sure it's just a single point. And that rock is being kicked, so I'm going to guess that it hogs. That's another $1 for the jar. This next rock coming from the lead for Coyote Wild, Paige Peterson. And this one's going to settle in at the top of the, well, along the tee line on the left side. So very quickly, Hernandez's team gets set. As we see the next stone coming from Peter Johns. And this one looks better in terms of the weight. It curls beyond the center line, so it's a centerish guard, not on the center line. So it looks like Campbell wants Paige to draw around. This one's a little light. It looks like as the sweepers jump on it. Weight actually is coasting a little bit, but it crashes on the guard. So now Hernandez was probably going to look to a hit and roll with Kira Manayans first. And that was a single point for Hernandez. As she gets set and delivers. Maybe came out a little wide with her body energy. Let's see if the rock stays on target. And it's a little wide. It kisses the yellow, and it's enough energy to get the yellow out. So positive outcome.
No matter what, right?
I am going to take a 2-minute break, so I'll be right back, but definitely want to keep you guys informed on the action, so I'll be right back. Net strut coming for Team Hernandez. Supers are on it, I think, looking to make contact on the yellow in the rings. That was Zach Altman's stone. So not contact, it was a draw around. Looks like it's about 20% buried. And so it looks like Campbell just wants to pop it out, maybe roll to the wing a little bit. So it is Campbell maybe sitting 1, although Hernandez could also be scoring, in scoring position. As we see Josh Bernstein's second stone. This is over curling a little bit, but it gets past the guard and clips the red, pushes it to the back 8 foot, and so it is definitely looking to, like Coyote Wild sitting 1, and Hernandez is sitting the second shot, as Zach is throwing his second stone. Looking to, I think, draw around again. And this one looks, I don't know how well buried. It looks pretty decently buried. Maybe a little joking words about sweeping in front or behind the tee line. So it looks accessible by the person throwing the stone if they wanted to try and go after it. So it looks like they're going to try and do the draw for Coyote Wild. Although based on where he has the broom, looks like they're going to do a heavy draw, tap, and roll. Looks to be about half weight, maybe a little more than that.
So whoever loses this round ends up on the silver set. I think so. Yeah, it'll tell you. It says the.
It looks pretty good. It hits the Hernandez red, and then the shooter's going to roll to the wing a little bit.
That's it, yeah.
So I think if they wanted to, Team Hernandez could kind of smack those yellows in the back 8 foot and maybe roll towards the center if they can, as they talk over their options. And someone nudged my cameras again. I apologize for that. One of the downsides of having a portable setup. We should call it like a pop-up. Make it sound hip and cool. Because I definitely know what hip and cool, I know what they mean, especially in the dictionary. As we say, David Hernandez gets set. I hope you're enjoying MoPac After Dark. This is the only MoPac After the Dark we have for this bonspiel. Tomorrow night we have our banquet at about 6:30, which will not be streamed. And then we have a Championship Sunday, which ends at around midday. So this is the only MoPac After Dark. We come to a city that's known for brilliant lights, and we only have one MoPac After Dark. So that shot by Hernandez crashes into the guard, and then the shooter itself rolls to the edge of the 12 foot. So now Coyote Wild has a chance to really amp up the pressure, really crank it up, which reminds me of my favorite 90s alt-rock song about cranking it up. Life is a highway. And I'm going to ride it all night long. I'm going to try and ride these jokes all night long, that's for sure. This ice has been playing pretty consistently. I think kind of once you kind of see some of the tendencies of the ice, they are manageable. I haven't talked to anyone on the ice about how they're finding it, but it's been a pretty good event so far to watch and to commentate on. I hope you guys are enjoying the broadcast. I again appreciate you guys tuning in. As we see Darren Campbell's first here with the hammer. Sitting 2, looking to really take it to the limit one more time. And my app crashed. That's how bad that joke was. The app crashed. And this rock is trying to end up kind of in a pile. So it might give Hernandez a bit of an out, as he can try to put it on top, or he can try and draw around. I would tend to maybe try and draw into the pile, but I'm curious about what people watching might think. So, looking at the setup here. Last rock with the hammer, this is David Hernandez. Looking to draw, and I think they want to draw into the pile, especially based on where the broom was and where it went sideways. I wonder if it picked something. Oh my goodness. Let's take a look at the replay. Raw, and I think they wanted to drive into the pile, especially based on where the broom was and where.
So it went sideways.
Went sideways
right there.
I wonder if it picked something. Oh my goodness. Let's take a look at the replay. So a bit of a bad luck throw there from David Hernandez. And now Darren Campbell has a chance for 4 and take the decisive lead in this nightcap game. So it's kind of hanging out, but they just need to be full 8 foot for that 4th point. And it looks to be there. A little tap, but not enough to really change the outcome. And so that's a count of 4 for Coyote Wild. Really good use of the hammer there. And just a spot of bad luck there from Team Hernandez. So we're going to take a pause in the action while they get reset for the next end. Just to let you guys know, we have a full tap of games ready for Saturday coverage here on the MoPac YouTube channel as well as the CurlVegas channel. Action starts at 8 a.m. Our featured game will be, I have to find it on the schedule. It's gonna be me. No. While I'm trying to find the game, let me keep you up to date on the cameras. Okay, there we go. So it's going to be a second bracket action tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Between Tuscan Curlers taking on the Broom Stacking Badgers. It's going to be on the MoPac YouTube channel. And all games are also streaming on the CurlVegas YouTube. And then the action continues at 10:30 a.m. And afternoon draws at 2 and 4:30 p.m. And again, all that action is on the YouTube channels of MoPac and CurlVegas. And we also have scores and other information about the event at bondspieler.com. And this end of action is being brought to you by curling.gg. Next time you're confused on ice, take a photo, recreate it on curling.gg, and try multiple outcomes. It's the only platform that lets you take a shot, undo, and try again. Curling.gg. So we are going to have 4 brackets when it's all said and done tomorrow. We have 3 brackets that are populated, and we have like a C bracket or 3rd bracket that's going to start after tonight, I believe. So the net stone coming from Peter Johns. And makes contact on the Coyote Wild Yellow in the top of the rings. And I do have to say it's kind of great that curling has found a spot in Las Vegas. It's just there's so much to do in Vegas, and it's nice to have this oasis of ice, an ice oasis, or oasis? No, that sounds bad. Never mind. Take that back. And Jared's shot, sorry I missed the camera switch, hit the Hernandez rock out and stuck around to be second stone. As Kira Manayan gets set for her first. Looking to take on those stones. They're down 7, so this is a situation where like they can't really hit themselves out of a jam. They need rocks in play. So they get 1 yellow to go away, and the shooter's going to roll to the right out of play. And so it looks like Campbell has the broom down for Jared to draw. Looking for about 3.5 feet of curl towards the walkway. Jared's kind of waving off the sweepers. This is going to go a little deep. The line wasn't too bad, as Hernandez puts a brush on it and pushes it to the back of the 12 foot, where it hangs around to be a second shot. So Hernandez has a hammer. They need to generate offense, and so they need rocks in play. As Manai gets set for a draw. I'm sure it's like going to be a draw tap. As she kicks out from the hack. And this is curling a decent amount. The weight looks maybe just a smidge light. And it's going to over curl, but where is it going to end up? In front of this guy's hat. He moved away. So it's just a little light. The line was actually pretty good. It over curled a smidge, but they wanted they wanted kind of back 4 weight to tap the yellow bat to create like a little nest for the yellow stone birdies to kind of build a little nest and hatch other yellow stone birdies to get multiple points. I don't know if this analogy is working or not. So for all that work, Josh Bernstein does the takeout. So they're calling for takeout weight, but they need rocks in play. So I don't know if giving the audience what they want will work in this case. As Zach gets set and delivers. Weight is up. Let's see. It's going to make contact. Just one of the yellows moving. And then the second yellow rolls to the back 4 foot. So it opens things up. But, I mean, it looks good. They're having fun, which is great. But how do they generate multiple points? So Campbell's just looking to keep a clean sheet. Looking to hit the red. There's a couple jam possibilities that Bernstein's going to need to try to avoid. As Jared escorts the stone down the ice, makes contact, and it whips off the yellow in the back, and does clear the yellow in the back, which Coyote Wild didn't need that yellow in the back anyway, so.
Now we're gonna have some good wine. We're playing for Sunday. We hit good shots.
So we are at the skip stones here. Looks like they're about to ring the bell to indicate the team should finish the current end they're playing and have one more if they choose. So the situation here is that Hernandez is down a mitten full. And they're trying to find a way to get back into this game. And Campbell and Coyote Wild has done a really excellent job of keeping a clean sheet, which I guess means something different in curling as it does in like soccer. I mean, but also it means the same thing. This is looking a little light, and the sweepers are called off, especially because I don't think they really wanted to promote that yellow any further into the rings. So right now it's Campbell and Coyote Wild sitting 2. And so they're just looking to, I think, just kind of block the path to the button and just make it that much harder for Hernandez to score a single point, which is all Hernandez can do really right now, unless there's not really a circus shot that he could throw. As Campbell makes his way down the ice. So just looking for a guard or top of the house and just really, really close the door for Team Hernandez here in this 6th end. Campbell's rock is away. But it's not a rock. It was a rock lobster. Alright, no, I'm still not supposed to sing. No one's giving me that note. I just know I'm not supposed to sing. So that guard is made. And I don't know if you can hear, but the bell has been rung. So every sheet, all the games are still in progress. They will finish this end and then have up to one more. If they choose, some might just decide to call it quits. As we see Hernandez just get set for a draw. He needs to be biting forefoot, close to full forefoot, to get a single point. And this is his last rock here in end number 6. Manine indicated the weight might be up a little bit. So this could be another tricky shot for Hernandez. Manine said the weight was up maybe a bit. And then something happened. And what we do know is that it's handshakes. So on sheet C. So it was like a steal of 2 or 3. Well, a steal of 3. So just a tough game for Team Hernandez, but a great game for Team Coyote Wild. I keep wanting to say Campbell, but it's not. It's not the team name. So we have some time for some bonus coverage. So I'm going to get the bonus coverage of Tron 5000 ready, which is an iPhone. So see some strong team spirit from Coyote Wild as they kind of gave a group hug as they stepped off the ice. So looking for a game to join in progress. And I think we might jump over to sheet A, or sheet 1. So it's sheet A, Ace of Spades, and we have a 7-6 contest between Michaela's Marauders and Sweeping It Real. So let's join that game in progress. And I say that I need to cut off the scoreboard and some elements here. So lots of rocks in play here in the 6th end. And after this end, let's go around the rings and check on how the other games are doing. Michaela's Marauders have the hammer here, up 1. And it looks like we are to skip stones as Sweeping It Real is getting set for their.
I know what you're saying, and 100%. You just know it needed to go.
For their first 2 stones without the hammer.
Right.
And Sweeping It Real, it's a Silicon Valley rink.
We're trying to explain to each other.
And hailing out of Silicon Valley.
Yeah, I think yeah.
And this is an A first bracket second round game. And Sweeping It Real shot is away from Stephen Bruce. Looking to I think they're just kind of looking to close the door as Sweeping It Real is sitting shots in the top 4 foot, just biting the button.
Oh yeah, here's bougie. You have that now. I got a flip of beer.
So Michaela's Marauders, stood by Michaela Stransky. They hail out of Lake Tahoe Epic Curling, a dedicated ice club in Stateline, Nevada.
Great. Awesome. Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I think they're just looking to well, Michaela's Marauders needs to get to the button. There's a chance for 2. And I would guess they would try to pop out the shot yellow. It's kind of a dangerous setup, though, for Michaela's Marauders. As she is stepping into the hack. And it's getting set. And her rock is away. This looks like a little wide. It's going to probably crash on the guard. And that's not entirely a special prognosis prediction from me. Actually, there's a bit of a lag, so I just see how the shot played out about 30 seconds before it happened on the stream that I'm seeing and you're seeing. So it looks like Sweeping It Real is going to just put up the guard again. Keep it tight to the rings. And you guys can see the scores at the top of the screen, so I won't necessarily do the around the rings. I might point it out. in between the ends. So just looking to close the door, and they just, I think just the mid guard, and if it wicks off of the guards that are along the center, that's not a bad outcome for scooping a reel. As Steven makes his way down the ice, about to step in the hatch. Silicon Valley is a arena or hockey ice facility in Fremont, California. It's the same facility that the San Jose Sharks practice in, I believe. But they are in the South Bay of the San Francisco Bay Area, so some players do have a chance to go up to Oakland to play at the dedicated ice of the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club. And Bruce's shot is away. They went at it the other direction. That's interesting. So it does crash on the guard and then rolls to the middle, blocking the gap. So that was a good outcome. That wasn't the shot I was thinking about.
Yeah, that's how, because we don't have time to play another full in. Like at arenas, we would play another full in to determine a winner. So. Sudden death. Yes, this is sudden death. Because that's all we get time for.
So for the Marauders, it's curious. So they're trying to draw, and I don't think the shot is there. They might be just throwing it away, and that way they would be tied coming home.
Because I have a curling jacket, so I look like this. Because I'm keeping more.
So the broom is down. I'm gonna guess they could try to draw, knowing that there's not much risk, and they would be tied coming home. So this is Michaela's last rock, Michaela Stransky's. Throwing it wide to the wings, not really throwing it away, but also not really hoping for much is my guess for this shot. And they just kicked the rock, I believe. It's kind of hard to see what happened. So it's going to be a tied game coming home. Actually kind of going away, but it's all tied through 6. Scooping a reel ties it up with a steal of 1. As Michaela Marauders will carry the hammer into the 7th end. So as they're getting set to start this final end of play, just to kind of recap the scores. Helps if I load the right draw. So Michaela's Marauders, they were down 4-0 after 2. But then they scored they scored 3 in the 3rd and 4 in the 4th end. So you can see that on the scoreboard, and that's how they got 7. And then scooping a reel from Silicon Valley just was kind of plugging it away, and that's how we ended up being tied through 6. On sheet B, we have Team Kunkel of Coyotes OC Curling. The 11-1 winners over Team Top Gun out of Oval and Ogden Curling. That game wrapped up after 6. And then sheet C, our feature game that we started the stream on, we have Coyote Wild from Coyotes Curling, just keeping the pedal to the metal and defeating Team Hernandez, OC Curling, and CurlVegas by a score of 12-2. And then on sheet D, this is the other game that's still in progress. We have a complete sheet show from Oval Curling up 6-2 over Team Skip It from Silicon Valley. And that brings you up to date on the scores. Scores and other information, including links to live streams, are available at bondspieler.com. So rocks in play here in the 7th end, as we see one rock is out of play. And sorry for some of the ghosting here. I'm not Patrick Swayze, but I guess there's some ghosting happening. So Michaela's Marauders have the hammer. They have a tight corner guard to start off the end. As we see the next rock coming from swooping a reel, that appears to be Jeremy Schwartz. Looking to draw around that corner guard. Looks like it might actually tick the corner guard, or actually freezes almost on top of it.
10:30.
So next rock coming for the Marauders. This is Judy Eccles. I mentioned before, Lake Tahoe Epic Curling is a 2-sheet dedicated ice club in State Line, Nevada. That's just outside of South Lake Tahoe, California. And Judy's rock is away, I think, looking to draw around those two guards on the right side of our view here. This is a bit up though, and it looks like it might be going through the house out of play. And it looks like this is the last game on the ice, as a complete sheet show defeated Skip It from Silicon Valley. And so we have some bonus curling here on sheet A, sheet 1, the Ace of Spades. As we see Jeremy get set for his second stone. And this also looks to be just a little up in terms of weight. Still seeing a bit buffer, a bitty bit of buffer. Trying to have some fun with hers. Actually, it sat down pretty nicely in the top 4 foot. So it looks like Marauders are going to try to try to hit it out. That makes sense. With having the last rock hammer advantage, they basically just want to keep open and draw to the button for the win, and basically remove some counters for a swooping a reel. And this looks like the hit's going to be made. It's going to stick around 4 shots in the top 8 foot. So it looks like swooping a reel is looking at maybe trying to draw, maybe hit and roll, actually. Actually, it looks to be a draw. As Eric Ancial, or Anchow, delivers. So this weight looks decent. They're trying to coax it over. They want to be buried and hopefully shot. This is going to be shot, but not really buried as it settles into the top button. So now we see Bill Eccles with his next rock. His second, I believe. Looks like it might hit and roll. I don't think that's the shot they wanted. I think they wanted to hit the other stone. But they got rid of one of the stones. It just wasn't the one they wanted. So it looks like Swooping to Reel is going to I would try to just basically draw in, like try to freeze, and if it's light, it's a guard, and that's a pretty good outcome for Swooping to Reel to try to steal the win here in the seventh end. As we see Eric's next rock head down the ice. And this, they're trying to coax it over. And it's not coming back. That might be that's something that's a path that may have fooled both teams here late in the game. The last draw of the night here from CurlVegas. You're tuned to the MoPac 5 and Under, part of the doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships. And thanks to our sponsors, you can see them in the box in the upper right hand corner. So it looks like they tried a different path for Marauders, and this one over curled. So it seems like there might be like a flat path in the ice. I did make contact on a red guard and pushes it into the rings. So not a bad outcome. It does provide a couple options for Marauders to get into the scoring position. And it looks like Swooping to Reel is just going to try and junk it up. And so they're also trying a different path. I think looking to try and put it in front of the center line, in front of the red stone. That's down the center. But they kind of indicated that it was a little wide, but that's coming back pretty hard. So it definitely seems to be playing towards the wall, you know, from the window to the wall, you know. I've been making that joke every draw today. I don't know when I'm going to stop. Someone stop me. So that narrows the path, but it's still accessible, although just based on how much it's curling, it's pretty tight to go down the middle. Although it seems like looks like Ben Schaefer's stone might be a little wide. It's coming back now. Is it going to be on the guard? It's past the guard. It's going to hit the red and taps the red on the yellow. Great shot. The yellow settling in the back 8-foot ring, and so now the Marauders are sitting 2. It's a great shot there. And let's see if we can do the replay. It's going to hit the red and taps the red on the yellow. Great shot. The yellow settling in the back 8-foot ring, and so now the Marauders are. Yeah, so I was talking a lot about it, so it was a great shot. Good job there from Ben Schaefer. So we are to skip stones, and Swooping to Reel tied without the hammer, needing to be shot after the next 2 stones. Stephen Bruce about to kick out of the hack. I think just looking to throw some heat down the middle, open things up, and just hopefully have a chance to be shot with their last. This is now they're trying to hold the line. It's trying to get 1, and then the red jams, the red on the red jams on the yellow in the back. That was probably the shot they had. And the downside is that the shooter rolled towards the center, and so it's not available for a run back anymore. So now you're looking for Michaela's Marauders just hitting 3. And they're probably looking for a place to, just maybe take away the easiest chance for sweeping it real to get to the button. And I gotta say, it's pretty tricky. I think that the shots that sweeping it real could do, there's 2 possibilities. Let's maybe raise the yellow that's on the right side, or maybe draw down the right side and sit full 4-foot. And those are both tricky shots. Although, based on how the ice is curling towards the window or towards the wall, it's maybe there. As Michaela is getting set for her first of 2 throws with the hammer here in this tied game in N7. I believe looking for a guard. They're sitting 3. I don't think they really want to upset the situation in the house or provide a rock that sweeping it real could utilize to get to the button. So this looks like it crashes on a stone and rolls into the top of the house. So now the question is, what can sweeping it real do to be counting? I don't think the yellow raise down the middle is really there, although there's a pretty long yellow red raise. Now that's super tricky. They can also try to raise the yellow. They're also looking at maybe doing the draw to the full foot. The full 4-foot. Words are fun, guys. I just had to say that. And not just because it's my job to deal with words. And then also my volunteer position as the host of MoPac Curling, where I get to say a lot of words for a lot of hours for 3-day or 4-day weekends at a time. So they're really talking it over. One of these days we're going to mic the players if we can do it. So they're really talking it over. I mean, this is the last game on the ice, and the people they were playing fairly speedily. So this is understandable to really think about what their options are. And I think, I like to draw. Like my first position was lead. I do skip from time to time, and I feel like I do okay skipping. But I love lead. I love being lead, and I enjoy being skipped too. But my first kind of inclination is to draw unless I'm really sure that the takeout is going to pay off or that's the only shot. That's kind of how I lean. So decisions made, going for the long draw or the wide draw. We have Stephen Bruce stepping into the hack for his last rock. Needs to be shot or it's game over. And so his shot's away. The line looks pretty good. Although it looks like it might be over-curling a smidge. It does over-curl, so maybe look for plan B, and it's not there. So it looks like Michaela's Marauders will not need to throw their last rock as they secure the win. It's handshakes all around. Make the final. Michaela's Marauders 10, sweeping a real 7. And that's going to help wrap up our coverage for tonight's draw. ending our MoPac After Dark for the tournaments. Wasn't quite as wacky as it can be like it was in San Francisco last time. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Sorry about that. At 8 a.m., our featured game is going to be Tuscan Curlers taking on the Broom Stacking Badgers. That's the 8 a.m. game. All games are also streaming on the CurlVegas page. And then we have a full day of games, a quadruple header, 8 a.m., 10:30 a.m., 2 p.m., and 4:30 p.m. And then they'll help set the slate for Championship Sunday. More information is going to be posted on our MoPac Facebook page as well as bondspieler.com. So before we sign off, just another huge thank you to our sponsors, doubletakeout.com, featuring rankings of the top men's and women's teams from around the world, updated throughout the competitive curling season by Ken Pomeroy. Curling.gg, for stips and curlers who love a good game, curling.gg is your ultimate practice tool. And by Endgame Curling, manufacturers of the travel handle, carbon fiber handle designed to separate into 3 pieces and can fit in most carry-on luggage, endgamecurling.com. So for now, on behalf of all of us here at MoPac CurlVegas, and thanks to our sponsors, this is your host Ryan Olson saying so long, good night, and good curling. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Pacific.